afternoon and welcome, or good late morning, I guess I should say, and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. Learn more about priority checking by visiting one of their offices in Monroe, West Monroe, Ruston, or across Ashley County. Thanks so much for joining us as we head toward lunchtime on this Tuesday. Wanted to take a quick check of the radar, and also we do have some Atlantic Ocean mischief, tomfoolery, hullabaloo, whatever you want to call it. It's still very, very far away from us, but we will take a look at that in just a minute as well. Quick check of the satellite this afternoon, or this late morning, as we head toward lunchtime and the new time hour on this Tuesday. Some afternoon clouds, quite a bit of sunshine to start the day in some spots, and I don't think anybody's really complaining about that. It's been a fairly pleasant start to the day. Temperatures obviously a little on the warm side. What does that translate to in terms of the radar? Again, provided by Brown's Roofing. Not a whole lot. We've had some decaying thunderstorms that have continued across portions of the Mississippi Valley, and that's really just kind of one lone storm that's wandering toward portions of Warren County. And for folks that are traveling from maybe Vicksburg to Jackson or along that area of I-20, you may be impacted by that brief shower, some brief downpours to be had there. And that's about it. Not a whole lot else on the radar at this hour. Look at low temperatures from this morning. A lot of us were back in the upper 60s to start the day. There were some areas right at 70 degrees. Overall, not too bad of a start in most locations. And temperatures currently hovering near 90 in some spots. The rain-cooled air is quite noticeable along the Mississippi Valley. Greenville's at 86, Lake Providence and Vicksburg both at 82, St. Joseph 84, Natchez 77. So again, you can see some of the rain-cooled air and the cloud cover and the impacts there, but farther westward, where the sunshine's been a little bit more abundant, most of us are firmly into the mid to upper 80s, if not the 90-degree mark at this point. Quick check of the heat risk. This is a very, very, very bright map, and it is a special type of graphic where I cannot alter the transparency of it. So if you weren't awake before, you're awake now. And look at the heat risk as we go through the day, and you can see much of the area is blanketed in the minor to moderate risk. Again, I show you these graphics, A, because I can, and B, because I just want this to be kind of a reminder that if you're out there in the peak of the afternoon, 2, 3, 4 o'clock, it's not the worst heat we've endured this summer, but it is still something that could be an issue, so just exercise caution as always. And a reminder also that all your alerts and hazards are made possible by Allegiance Health Network, providing high-quality, patient-centered care through a clinically integrated network of healthcare professionals. As we get more alerts, you'll see their logo on your screen a little bit more, but it's been actually fairly quiet, and I don't think anybody's going to really complain about that. A quick check as we talk about heat stressors and things like that. Look at futurecast temperatures as we head through the overnight. Most of us generally back into the upper 60s to low 70s. I know you see some mid-70s sprinkled in here or there. Most of us will be at least back into the low 70s as we head through the overnight. Daytime highs tomorrow really just depends on who sees the rain and who doesn't. And as you look at the 7-day, I want you to kind of keep that in mind as well, that some areas will see 95, 96 if you don't see the rain. But if you get one of those little pop-up showers and storms, especially early enough in the day, you may get stopped at 91 or 92 degrees. And trying to forecast who's going to see what is essentially your guess is as good as mine at this point in trying to pinpoint where the rain's actually going to pop up on any given location at any given point on any given day. A look at, as we go through the day on Thursday, same general story. The pattern, like I said, as things have changed, they've really stayed the same, and so we'll work with some isolated storms, and that's about it. Pam and Christy joining in. Thanks so much for joining us live this late morning as we get ready for lunchtime. Our big spirally tropical wave that is basically right at the halfway point between the coast of Africa and the Windward Islands has continued to beef up in its overall organization, and I think a tropical system is imminent, and there's the chance that we may completely surpass tropical depression and go to tropical storm. I don't want to speculate too much, but again, the overall wave looks quite organized, and you don't need me pointing it out. It's right there in the middle of the screen and now has a high chance of development. I don't want to, again, get into the weeds too much on where this is headed simply because we really don't know, and it's just still so far away. I really, in the short term, it's not a concern for us. Longer term, Again, it's anybody's guess. Still, I would generally think it probably isn't, but the upper level patterns in such flux that you can't really completely rule anything out. A look at atmospheric moisture over the open Atlantic, and you can see that the moisture really getting kind of wrapped in around this system, but also just kind of wanted to draw attention to what develops behind it. As it advances off to the north and west, the Atlantic Ocean perhaps getting a little bit more organized and a little bit more active in terms of tropical systems. Could see another wave behind it with development, and then perhaps another one behind that. Again, you're talking 5-7 days out. Some of these waves materialize and develop. Sometimes they don't. But tropical season is still upon us, or here, or existent, or whatever you want to call it, as we go through the next week. Back here at home, daytime highs back in the low to mid-90s this afternoon. As I mentioned, it just really depends on who sees the rain and when you get the rain. And if you see it, obviously 92s and 93s are a possibility. If you miss out, 95s a possibility as well. So just be cautious of that. Overnight lows tonight in the upper 60s to low 70s. And then daytime highs tomorrow land back in the low to mid-90s. And again, the same caveat applies. If you see the rain, maybe a little bit cooler. If you don't see the rain, you may be a little bit warmer. Look at the 7-day forecast. And again, while things change, they stay the same. And I promise you, I'm changing this forecast frequently through the day. It's just that sometimes things go up, they go down, and in general, as we tweak things, the rain chances just kind of ebb and flow, and in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty much the same thing every day. Daytime highs low to mid-90s, morning lows to upper 60s to near 70. Could see the potential for a pattern change in parts, middle to end parts of next week. You're talking 7 to 10 to maybe even 13, 14 day range. That's a long way from now, so again, you can kind of look at trends and patterns and stuff like that, but you can't really get into the weeds about a lot of specifics. Rena, thanks so much. Have a great afternoon. Shelby asked, can you touch on the app? I'm actually awaiting our latest update. Should hear something either today or tomorrow. And shortly after that, we would be getting close to the final submissions and all that stuff. I would think the app is probably still a week or two away. We were kind of aiming 1st of October as a launch time, but I can't say that with a lot of high confidence, or just because there's still some bridges to be crossed. We knew it was not going to be available on September 1st, and when we knew that, we were kind of thinking October 1st would be a little bit more of a reachable goal. Still seems that way, but can't say that for sure. Obviously, we appreciate folks' cooperation with that. Again, that is a very a lot of that is also beyond me. It's just such the app development world is crazy, and then you also have to kind of bend and flex with Google and Apple and their regulations and what they need from you as well. So, and that all takes time. But definitely still working towards it daily, every day, and looking forward to bringing it to you soon, so you can have another way of receiving specific alerts. New ways of receiving the forecast on the go, so you don't have to check social media if you don't want to, and all that stuff as well. Okay, there's a look at the 7-day. That's about it. Quick little note as we wrap up today at midday. Your evening forecast I will have ready for you probably between 4 and 5 o'clock this afternoon. It will not be live, but it will pop up on your social media platforms. Actually hosting a little bit of an engagement this afternoon, and so we'll be doing that instead. So again, thanks so much for joining us midday. I'll have another look at your forecast later today, and then also tomorrow we get ready for football because Sterlington and Washita play tomorrow night, not Friday night. So we're going to have to do a football forecast. Have to. Always looking forward to a football forecast. And that should be a doozy of a game as well. Thanks so much for joining us on